Here, drink. But do not spill. It killed the grass.
The place is clean. He just left.
Mon petit fou putain!
Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Jean-Claude Van Damme cast. It is John and Jeff in studio talking with you guys about some of the best films in filmography history.
By far.
And if you don't know by now and by that title, we review Jean-Claude Van Damme films. I don't know how you would not know that, but maybe not. Maybe you think that this is something else. Maybe you think that this is... I don't know, our Pokemon Go podcast. Or,
you might think it's like beatnik poetry, just random syllables thrown together.
Yep, our lame tries at doing haiku and failing. But no, this is the Van Damme podcast where we talk all things Jean-Claude Van Damme. And in this episode, we are going to be reviewing 1993's Hard Target, the action thriller that's an hour and 37 minutes long.
Yes.
And man... what a treat for that hour and 37 minutes.
It's a ride, all right.
The synopsis of this is: a woman hires a drifter as her guide through New Orleans in search of her father, who has gone missing. They discover a deadly game of cat and mouse behind his disappearance in the process. Got 6.1 stars on IMDb. So
that is, well, I guess it makes sense. It's one of his...
something.
The cast alone, I mean, this movie probably has the best cast.
Wow, man. It got an Academy of Science Fiction, Fantasy, and Horror Film Award for the Saturn Award for Best Supporting Actor for Lance Henriksen.
Yeah, wow. I can believe that. Lance
yeah.
Henriksen is a...
Oh, dude.
I love him to death.
Yeah, man.
He just never got like... I've always felt he was a very underrated actor. He's always been second stringer in movies, just like totally propping them up with his acting ability.
He was awesome. So yeah, release date was August 20th, 1993, and the tagline is "Don't hunt what you can't kill." I love that tagline.
That's perfect.
Holy shit, that's a good one.
It's succinct. It's nice and short.
Yep.
It's not like 3 sentences like a lot of his other taglines are.
Yep. Director is John Woo, and Chuck Farrer is the writer. So yeah, this stars Jean-Claude Van Damme as Chance.
Yep.
And this is one of those films where it goes in order of appearance. So the cast, like, usually you think when you're looking at the cast,
the billing,
he's going to come up. But yeah, he plays Chance Boudreaux. And then we have Natasha Bender. Bender. They went with Bender, didn't they?
I think it was Bender.
And this, even though it's spelt Binder, is played by Yancey Butler. And she had a familiar face, but
yeah, the name's familiar too.
I'm not sure what I've seen her in. Okay, she was in Kick-Ass and Kick-Ass 2 as Mrs. D'Amico, the mom.
Oh, holy shit! Yeah, she was Mrs. D'Amico. That's right.
D'Amico. Thank you. Yeah, I was really surprised.
She still looks really good in Kick-Ass and Kick-Ass 2 as well.
Oh, sweet. She was in Death Race 2050, which is out on Netflix.
I really want to see that. Isn't
it's awesome.
That's from the same studio that did Sharknado, right? That's an Asylum
movie. I think so,
movie.
Yeah. Malcolm McDowell is in it.
Really?
Of course, yeah.
Oh, that's
It's
awesome.
good. It's good, man. And the guy who played Crixus in Spartacus, if you watch Spartacus, he's actually Frankenstein in it. So
really?
Yep. Yeah.
I've not watched Spartacus.
Spartacus is good.
I've heard good things. Didn't like the main actor in it like die or something?
Yeah. There's a documentary out right now on Netflix about that. Honestly, I haven't watched it yet.
Did he get eaten by a lion or?
No, he got eaten by cancer.
Oh.
So,
it's much less well, that's rough.
That's realistic.
Less cinematic, more realistic.
Yeah, yeah, unfortunately. She was in Hansel and Gretel Get Baked. That's very interesting. Lake Placid TV movie, Shark Week.
Wait.
Rage of the Yeti, The Mentalist.
Who was she in Lake Placid? Was she the poacher?
This is Lake Placid, the final chapter. And then she was in Lake Placid versus Anaconda. Let's see. Lake Placid 3. She's Reba.
Yeah, I think she was the poacher in it. Yep. That's where I saw her. Yeah, she's kept up on her appearance. She's still in great shape.
Yeah, man. Yeah, she looks good.
Hell yeah.
Very much so. Anyway, let's see. Who else besides... Well, yeah,
Wilford Brimley.
Yes. When you see Wilford Brimley,
another transformation, like his acting, I just you wouldn't realize, like,
yeah. You really want it. Lance Henriksen, like we said earlier, Aliens. He was Bishop, the Terminator,
Pumpkinhead.
Pumpkinhead. Oh my gosh, he's in so many great films.
The Quick and the Dead.
Wow, he has 228 titles to his name.
I think he's still acting to
this
day.
He's still doing stuff. Yeah, we're looking at 2017, 2018 stuff right here. But yeah, Wilford Brimley. How awesome is that, man?
I love that man to death.
He just was amazing in this film.
He's great in everything. Like,
yeah,
his most iconic movie, I think, was The Thing. I loved him in The Thing.
Yes, man.
He had a mental breakdown.
Dude, you know what was kind of crazy? I'm glad I see this in the cast list. I was like, is that Ted Raimi in one scene? He basically does a cameo in Hard Target. And I'll talk a little bit more about it when we get to it if you can't recall it off your head right now. But I immediately was like, is that one of the Raimi brothers? Sure enough,
oh, wait, I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, he's there. Oh, man.
In a movie that wasn't directed by Sam Raimi.
Wilford Brimley, in case you don't know, he's still going, man. He's doing stuff in 2017.
No shit. He's got to be... How old is he?
82.
Damn. Good for him.
Yeah, man. Seriously. He has a lot to his name.
Well, to be fair, his body was taken over by the Thing, so...
That's true. Walker, Texas Ranger.
Yeah, I remember in Walker, Texas Ranger. He was a supporting character there for a long time.
The Firm. He was in The Firm. He was in Where the Red Fern Grows Part 2. Billy the Kid, Cocoon. Return.
Yeah, he's in the Cocoon. Oh my god.
Yep, both Cocoons. He was in Ewoks, The Battle for Endor. I totally forgot about that. Yes, he was. Hell yeah.
What a filmography this acting tour de force has had.
Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. All right, that's enough with that.
With Wilford Brimley cast.
Yeah.
This movie really did have an amazing cast.
It did, man. It really did. And to be, as over the top as this film was, like the acting was actually pretty damn good.
They acted their heart. They worked with what they had.
Yeah, they worked with what they had for real.
I mean, the henchman, Lance Hendrickson's main henchman in it. He was, I believe, he played Darkman in the sequels.
Oh yeah, I think you're right.
Left.
There we go. That's I should have mentioned him too because he was in this a lot.
Yeah, he was actually really good in it too.
Pick Van Cleef, Arnold Vosloo was who he played that. He was in Blood Diamond. Wow. He was in The Mummy.
Really?
He was the Mummy.
Yep, he was the Mummy. Oh, holy shit, that's right.
That's awesome. He is crazy, man. He scared the bejesus out of me in The Mummy back in the day. That was a great Brendan Fraser movie, man.
It's no George of the Jungle. But...
No. But, I mean, you deal with what you can. One of the trademarks that we first see in this film is that it's raining once again. Mm-hmm. And you can't really nowadays have a Van Damme film without some sort of rain. And we see, it was funny because the first thing that I thought when this opens up and it's actually the Vietnam veteran Bender running for his life in this game of man versus death, I thought Van Cleef looked like Fender, like the silhouette. I think he kind of was wearing sunglasses or something. Or no, it wasn't Van Cleef.
It was that one guy dude who had an air pressure arrow gun.
Yep.
just like
it wasn't a crossbow. It
was like it was an air pressure gun, like just like in
Cyborg.
Yeah, just like in Cyborg.
Yeah, exactly. So like it really, I thought, a Fender with that. So that was awesome. And then basically he gets hunted down, killed. Arrow goes through his chest right when he's about to make it and save himself. Nope. And then it pierces his dog tag. It's like dun dun dun. Next thing we see is Van Damme looking all so glorious in his mullet.
Yeah, that mullet is a mullet and a half, man.
This lady goes looking for her dead father. And she ends up going to this one restaurant that is filled with basically poor people and people who are bad guys. Not saying 1 and 2 are the same. But
the movie did,
New Orleans, they really made it seem like it was. You had your nice homeless, and then you had your bad homeless.
Yeah, and there's only like 2 black people in New Orleans, according to this movie. And nobody has an accent.
Yeah, no one has an accent
except for Wilford Brimley and Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yep. So we see basically these guys try to take out Yancey and take her money from her.
Yeah, she flashed some cash. And
awesome. What was that? A Camaro?
I think
basically.
It was.
Old school drop top. Looks pretty sweet. Van Damme's kicking people in slow-mo. She says she's from Michigan. Well, she doesn't say it, but her car says it. And we know it's fake Michigan because we are Michiganders. And even though they got the blue plates correct, we in Michigan don't put a license plate on the front of our vehicles.
No.
So there's no
We don't
point
believe in
that.
that. It's actually for religious reasons.
Exactly. I know there's this supposedly this separation of church and state, but like
not in Michigan.
Don't ever ask a Michigander why we don't put plates on the front of our cars. It's a little harsh. We don't want to open up that can of worms.
You might get stoned to death.
Yeah.
Let's
just
beat
put
you to
it that
death
way.
with pop cans, not soda cans.
Nope.
Pop cans.
Pop cans. Exactly. But the one thing that they kept showing on her car was her license plate number, which is bar 312. Do you have any clue what that was about or what that was referenced to?
I have no idea.
I was almost like, why didn't you just say 313? Because 313 is the area code for Detroit.
Yeah.
And some of the surrounding suburbs of it. So like that made more sense. I hope we see it maybe in the trivia. I didn't look it up. I don't know. But they like actually showed the license plate, which made it seem like there was a reason for it, but we never found out what that reason was or how to like, I could think, okay, was she a lawyer because of the bar?
Yeah, that's what I was.
I mean, I don't know.
Did they reveal what her occupation was?
No, I don't
She
think
was
so.
well-to-do and well-dressed, so a lawyer would make sense.
Makes sense, yeah.
There is a lot of lawyers in Jean-Claude Van Damme's filmography.
Man, yeah, so, I mean, all signs point to she was a lawyer.
Yes.
So. We see this amazing arm break with some awesome, like the guy screaming.
That dude
beautiful.
won't forget that fight for a while.
Yep, not at all. Especially
compound fracture of
on
his
rainy
elbow.
nights.
Jeez.
The same music played out throughout this whole film. There's like that's guitar sound like. So yeah, that's try to get that old Southern guitar sound going.
Yeah, this soundtrack.
And
it sticks out like it's really, really hokey.
Oh yeah, exactly. It really is.
I felt like I was watching an episode of Renegade or something.
Oh, I know.
Like,
honestly, yes. Honestly, really did feel like a feature film Renegade.
He had the same haircut too.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think the stunt double who played
was
in this
Lorenzo
was
Lamas.
the same. Yeah, it was Lorenzo Lamas. Because that's the one thing that I spotted in this film was that the stunt double was constantly shown, and they did not hide his face whatsoever.
No.
It did not look like Van Damme at all.
I don't know if this was just like the fact that it was before, DVD quality, and they're just like,
right.
Yeah,
that's what I was thinking. I was like, is that Billy Ray Cyrus like on a bad day? Like he was just like, I got to make money somehow, because it kind of looked like him. I'm not gonna lie. So then we pull up in front of the police headquarters, and there's picketing going on, saying without cops, the city stops. But I really don't know why. I think they were just kind of trying to prove that New Orleans was in a shit spot.
Yeah.
And it was really poor area.
I kept expecting RoboCop to show up.
I know, man. Honestly, he really did.
Especially with the lady from Michigan.
And then the one detective is basically just sitting at her desk, getting ready to celebrate her birthday. She puts the cake back into the drawer
with the
while
candle
it's still
lit.
And the Yancey comes up and is like, my father's missing, but he's homeless. And she's like, there's not much we can do because he's homeless. He's not considered really missing when he doesn't have a place to be missed from. I was like, aw.
That's rough.
So, you know, she, after the whole awkward situation, she pulls out that cake and she blows out the candle. And you're like, we already know what her wish is, to get out of this hellhole.
Yeah,
so,
this movie painted a very vivid picture of scenic New Orleans.
Yeah, man. Yeah, much so.
It pretty much depicted it as like a third world hellhole.
Yeah, very much so. Like, I mean, if this was filmed in 2005 or 2008, they probably would have chose Detroit, honestly, to be where this movie takes place, because you could see the parallels there of what these cities have gone through, what New Orleans is still going through to this day. But it's kind of sad to think that way as well, that this movie takes place in 93 and it's 2017. They're still kind of going through this shit. So basically, Yancey offers Van Damme $100 a day to help her out. Van Damme's like, nah, I got a job on a ship. We find out Van Damme basically kicked a dude, and did he throw him overboard? Or did he just kick him in the face?
Jaw.
Yeah, he broke his jaw.
I'm not sure if he kicked him overboard.
We end up finding out the reason why. Basically, Van Damme's a former Marine, and that he was very upset that the guy was smuggling in opium into the city, so that's why he beat the shit out of the dude. But he needs $217 to pay the union the fees
Lousy
to get back on.
Mafia bastards.
Very anti-union in this film.
Yeah.
And he has to pay his fees before he can get the job. And Van Damme, it's that catch-22.
How do I pay my fees if I cannot work?
Yep, exactly. And then the guy's like, I don't care, man, but you got till the end of the week. So Van Damme ends up taking her up on this. So we get this, and I'm just thinking already that this movie is ridiculous.
Yeah, and it doesn't get any more... It doesn't get any less ridiculous.
No, not at all. So basically, she's like, you drive. And he's like, I can't, ma'am. I don't have a license. Which I don't know why they had to throw that in there. But John Woo was thinking of something when he did it.
John Woo, man.
Then we get both their names and the fun little awkward conversation between the two of them. My name is Chance. My name is Nat. Like the bug? Why would your parents name you after a bug? No, it's short for Natasha. Why would your parents name you Chance? Because my mom took one.
Yeah, this movie's one-liners were...
Oh, yeah.
Probably this movie, I think, topped any other of his films with the... possibly with the amount of one-liners that were in it. Cause it was,
I know, man. Yeah, it was good. I thought Nowhere to Run had some good one-liners. This one had some terrific ones as well.
I don't know if it beat it in quality, but it beat it in quantity.
Right. Yeah, most definitely.
And Nowhere to Run had a lot of one-liners, too.
Yeah, man. Yeah, for sure. Well, they end up basically meeting up with another homeless veteran who we find out is an ex-Special Forces guy. And he finds out that there's this shopping cart with her dad's old sleeping bag in it, and he knows the sleeping bag because only a certain unit or whatever was given these tiger stripe colors on it.
And like they just left the shopping cart there. Now the homeless people stole
it. Man. I'll tell you what, New Orleans might be a shit show in this movie, but the homeless people
they
respect
got hearts
one
of gold,
another's stuff. So that's the good thing about it.
You don't touch another hobo's bindle.
Exactly, the unwritten rules. Or if you have to, you got to piss all over your stuff first to claim it. And then we find out that he was having to pass out flyers to make a little extra income, but these were flyers for dirty places, as it's it's black and white, but it's on a hot pink flyer of basically a nude woman. And it's just like, hey, come over here. They end up going and meeting up with the big fat slob, who's basically a slum boss, paying all these homeless dudes, this small amount of money to pass out these flyers. But he's actually basically the guy who, what's the word I'm looking for? He's a
talent agent, sort of.
Yeah, he's a talent agent.
Kind of a pimp for human hunting.
Yeah. He's the one who's cleaning out the guys, like figuring out which ones are good, which ones you would just leave alone. And we end up finding out that he basically chose Bender, the wrong guy. They were supposed to actually choose Chance Van Damme. And the company really looks for veterans that were in combat that have no families, so people won't really miss them. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, in this case, Bender was found missing, and his daughter came looking for him. Basically, they end up finding his body. They tried destroying the evidence, threw him into an old building, and burned it up.
Mm-hmm.
And you're thinking, oh, there it is on that. And then later on, Randall, the big fat guy, is like sleeping, and Van Cleef just slaps him across the belly. Wakey, wakey, you fat fuck. And they cut off his earlobe.
Yeah, he cut off like half of his ear. It was really,
yeah,
these really old, heavy ass looking metal scissors.
Yeah, dude.
Like,
yeah,
oh.
Yep. He shoves them into the wall after he's done. It was crazy.
It was gruesome. Like,
so basically, after all this is said and done, Van Damme's just kind of sitting there at his like poor house. And this white dove flies in, the symbolism flies in and lands by Van Damme's dog tags. And Van Damme notices in the pictures and whatnot, the stuff that was given to Yancey, that he only got one dog tag from Bender. And he's like, there's another one. So Van Damme goes back to the burnt down place, crosses the crime tape, finds the other dog tag, gets the shit kicked out of him, gets arrested. He gets the shit kicked out of him from some of the lower end cronies out of the bad guys.
Yeah, and they had like a crazy noose on a pole and everything.
Yeah, man, they had some rocking some crazy skullets too, kind of.
Yeah. It was some crazy bikers with really specific weapons.
Yeah,
I thought it was weird having a noose on a pole.
I know, man, it really was. I like that this was basically a couple days later after they find the body and the place is still smoking. Like,
one hell of a fire, man.
Yeah, man. Van Damme walks in.
He's covered the place in like thermite or something.
Yeah, dude. But those guys go to beat him up. Van Damme gets a couple good hits in, gets a nut punch in, so we got one of those.
Hell yeah.
Meanwhile, Lance Henriksen is playing some mean piano, dude. This is some intense piano.
Was he actually playing that? They made
it looks like
yeah,
it, dude.
It did.
They made it. I think he was.
I feel like he's one of those savants that's like a master of like 7 instruments.
Right? Yeah, probably.
Probably knows like 6 languages.
They do this kind of little advertising spiel to this one rich dude. It's $500,000 to hunt humans, and that's where we find out that whole like that's why they pick combat veterans and all this. Pick the guys who were able to go out on the government's dime and do this for free. And now private citizens should have that right to hunt them.
Yeah, the spiel
crazy,
is like really creepy and
in a weird way.
Yeah.
In a weird way, it's almost like this movie tried to have like this underlying tone to it, being like, this is how we treat our veterans, especially those from Vietnam. Basically, all of them are homeless. We did a terrible job with it. And the fact now that you send our boys off to go kill for an unjust war, and so this is like them getting payback. It was really weird.
I could detect, like
almost like this weird political statement to it in the 90s.
Yeah, that was doled down in a John Woo action film.
Right, yeah, exactly. like the writer had this beautiful thing and it just kind of went through John Woo's head, like it went over his head. He was just like, no, we're
going to have Jean-Claude Van Damme jump sideways with 2 guns.
Yep.
Do 7 flips.
Yep, and that's basically what happened.
And that
honestly,
what we call hard target.
Yep, it's they're definitely from he was definitely making himself a hard target.
He was. All those flips.
So Van Damme ends up going to this masseuse parlor for Kiki and her Wonder Feet.
Yeah.
She's from Arabia or whatever I think the sign said. That was beautiful.
I was dying when I read that.
And Van Damme basically beats the crap out of Randall, the big fat guy, and finds out what he needs to find out.
After massaging his neck for about 30 seconds.
I kind of wanted Van Damme to massage me for a bit. Like, I'm not going to lie. It looked like that would have been a good massage.
Hell yeah.
Randall was enjoying it. Meanwhile, the coroner, medical examiner, doctor, who basically is the one being paid by the bad guys,
he's on his dime, yeah.
Make sure that these autopsies go the way that they need them to go.
They don't show any pneumatic arrow wounds in the
right,
report,
exactly. And then,
or like guys riding on motorcycles shooting at you with MP5s the whole time while nobody in the city notices.
Yeah. This is where it just gets crazy. For no real reason whatsoever, they end up killing the doctor after he's told by the detective to run the autopsy report again. He gets a knock at the door, and he looks through the peephole. He gets shot with the silencer through the peephole. And all the meanwhile, Lance Henriksen was like making us think he was going to stab him with the letter opener, but then he didn't. So I really didn't understand what that was all about. And this is where they end up telling the other veteran, the homeless veteran, you want to make $10,000, and putting him on the hunt with the guy they originally solicited the hunting season trip to. And he basically has no choice but yes to say yes to it. So he goes
they
running.
Gave him a money belt,
yeah,
which is a term I'm not familiar with.
Yeah, money belt.
I owned a money belt.
They did it to Bender in the beginning too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so
money belts.
Money belts. I know.
Where
do
can
you
I
find
get
those?
them?
I think JCPenney might be having a sale on them. So he goes running around they go into the cemetery because you're in New Orleans. You have to have a cemetery shot.
Oh, yeah. No zombies, though.
No zombies, but the headstone's getting all shot up, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. He gets clipped a little bit, and the hunter dude, or the millionaire dude, the rich guy, is like, I don't want to do this anymore. He's having reservations about killing a dude. Lance Henriksen basically tells him, you have to. You paid him $500,000 to do this. Don't be a pussy. So he goes on his way, and then the homeless vet jumps out of a crypt and shoots up the dude with the automatic rifle.
Yeah, I don't know what that thing was, because it had like a big well on the side of it, like it was belt fed, but it also had a magazine.
Yeah, and a magazine, and then it had, obviously it had a laser sight to it and a scope on it. I don't know what they were trying to do with it. It was like a Swiss Army knife, I guess, for a gun. But he ends up taking off, and Lance just puts a bullet into the rich dude, and he's like, feed him to the dogs. I'm like, oh, dang. So that's how this goes, man. No one's going to question when a rich guy dies, huh?
Yeah, I was confused by that as well.
So then the homeless veteran makes it basically to Bourbon Street, and there's everyone all around. He's asking and pleading for help. He's bleeding, the poor bastard.
He keeps saying, I don't have any change.
I don't have any change, and that's
like... No one would just call 911
or something. No one calls. They close the doors on him.
Yeah, it was really extremely ham-fisted what they were going for there. I understood what they were going for because they beated you over the head with it. Yeah,
Ted Raimi ends up telling him basically, I don't have no change. That's where we get the Ted Raimi cameo. He just comes out of nowhere, and then Raimi. The homeless vet accepts his fate. And, when I'm going and partying and I see a bunch of motorcycles and cars coming down the street, I just sit there and I get drunk and see what's going to happen anyway. So, they light this dude up. They don't have to. He gives himself up. He just stands there, basically palms out, being like, just finish me off. And they light this dude up and everyone else around him. And so, surprisingly, no one else dies, just this guy. Mm-hmm. Next day, we see that Van Damme gets the opportunity to look at the crime scene for whatever reason. Now, I guess he's been deputized. So he sees what's going on.
They're really desperate with the police strike.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And the next thing we get is basically Van Cleef putting a shotgun to Randall's head, blowing it off, pretty much. So it was birdshot, but...
Yeah.
Blows him up, and then Van Damme, the detective, and Yancey show up, and the whole gang shows up, and this is where the film just goes crazy. Absolutely crazy.
It never comes back.
It never comes back. It's a firefight, man. Detective ends up getting shot and killed. A bunch of dudes end up getting shot and killed. Van Damme kicks that dude right in the helmet, and his foot's okay, but that dude's neck snapped.
Yep.
That was pretty awesome.
Makes
while
sense.
He was riding on his motorcycle.
Yeah, that was
You see the stunt double so many times on this. Beautiful jumps through fire on these motorcycle dirt bikes. The gas tanks hit. I started laughing my ass off when he jumps over that car. The bike hits the car, He does the flip over it, lands, then shoots again.
Yeah.
It was just absolute mayhem. It was amazing.
You could really tell John Woo directed this film by this point.
Yep, by that point.
You're like, the amount of gunfire, the amount of bullets it took to take one person down. It's just classic John Woo. It was just,
so much.
The average human being in this takes at least 20 shots to the chest.
Yeah, man. And we end up seeing now these special hunters are going out to get him. And we get the awesome snake bit where Van Damme's like,
God, I forgot about the snake.
Then close your eyes. And he grabs the snake, pats it on the head, punches it to knock it out, bites off its rattler.
He bites off its rattler. Like, I didn't understand that at first. I guess, it never makes sense, but there was a logic to it.
Right, yeah. I mean, he didn't want them to hear the rattle when he trapped it up in the tree.
I don't think rattles,
But like,
it was in a tree in the first place.
Right,
rattlesnakes don't climb trees, do they? I don't think
they can. I know other snakes do. I'm not.
Yeah, well,
I'm not so sure if rattlers do, but I know there's other snakes.
I don't even know if
sure.
rattlers live in Louisiana.
I think they do.
Do they?
I know that they live in Alabama.
Well, they don't climb in trees. I don't think. I think it's
I don't know if rattlers do.
Can we get some clarification from our New Orleans fans?
Yeah, please do. Like I said, I know other snakes do, but I don't know if rattlers do.
There's plenty of snakes poisonous or venomous snakes that climb trees.
Right. Oh yeah, definitely. So basically, one of the hunters ends up getting bit in the face by this thing after he trips a wire, and somehow that shoots the snake out at him, kills him pretty much. So he gets bit. Then Lance finishes him off.
The snake puppet.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Van Cleef holds it and it's going crazy, and then Lance shoots it with his gun. What kind of gun was that? Do you know what that was?
It was a breech loading 45 Colt, I think.
Okay.
And it had no sights on it whatsoever.
No sights whatsoever. It was,
and he's being a dead shot with it.
Yeah.
But they made it look like the bullets were these explosive rounds. Every time he shot something with it, it was like...
It was almost like it was an elephant round.
Yeah.
It was so ridiculous. And then we finally get Wilford Brimley. He shows up as his uncle, his crazy drunk uncle. Doing up the moonshine bit. That beautiful Cajun accent.
It was so good. It was better than Jean-Claude Van Damme's Cajun accent.
Oh, yeah. Yep. We find out that Van Damme's gift of a 30-06 got ate by an alligator, but that the uncle still had his dusty shotgun. That thing was so full of dust, by the way. I was surprised it was still working.
Yeah, I know. He cranked it, and dust was flying off. He blew on it.
Yep. Yeah.
And then the finish was just immaculate, even though it was just neglected in some random cargo net for years.
But somehow, for whatever reason, the hunters and stuff end up finding out that Van Damme would be at this place. Out of all the back shacks in New Orleans, that he goes to this one. And then all of a sudden they shoot it up. Brimley shoots an arrow, hits the moonshine area, sets that on fire, sets a dude on fire,
sets
the
a long fuse of dynamite.
Exactly, which blows the place to smithereens, kills a few dudes, but doesn't kill Lance and Van Cleef. And then Brimley ends up doing his own stunts, man. He was riding that horse himself.
Yeah.
Unless they got another old fat guy that looks very similar to him that has diabetes to do it.
I feel like Wilford Brimley is an avid horse rider.
I think so too. I honestly do. So he was doing a good job with it. I was like, holy shit. Van Damme wasn't even riding his own damn horse.
Yeah. He's shouting Cajun curses at him.
Yep, exactly. He's shouting those curses, doing all that. It was absolutely amazing.
It's funny because he was using a bow and arrow after giving Van Damme his shotgun, but in the beginning, he had his own double barrel shotgun that he never used again.
He never used it,
Straight up bow and arrow afterwards.
Yep, it was all bow and arrow. And we got some crazy situations. We had the pigeon thing, the pigeon shitting on that guy's helmet. Van Damme kicking that awesome gas can at the dude with gas flinging out everywhere, then shooting it and it blowing up on the guy.
Yeah, this is really what it turns into straight John Woo action.
Yep, it was John Woo all the way. Like finally, Van Cleef's death scene, Van Damme kind of comes up from behind, like sliding underneath, shooting them.
They had like the standoff where they're both talking to each other while they're reloading.
Yeah, while they're
That's
reloading.
Just straight up John Woo.
Yeah,
I see that in every John Woo movie.
Yep, and start shooting each other again. Before that, there was one dude wearing a crazy shirt. Van Damme holds the gun upside down and shoots the guy.
Yeah, like why did he hold it upside down?
I don't know.
Like, what? There's no time to pick the gun up. And...
Right, like he couldn't easily just flip it. No, he was just shooting upside down. Tells the guy, he apologizes to the guy, sorry for your shirt.
I felt bad for. I was hoping the guy would have a cool action scene with him too.
He's
this huge beefy guy.
Yeah, he's this huge Duke Nukem looking dude.
Yeah, he looks like Duke Nukem.
And just didn't pan out that way.
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
That's what happens. But then let's see what else happens. Badass Brimsley. That's what I always say. He's killing dudes left and right. Shot a dude through the float into the neck. That was pretty awesome. There were some dick shots here. The Yancey like shoots the dude in the dick.
Yep.
A couple times.
Yeah.
And then Brimley like goes flipping out on her about it. I was really hoping he would say, you never shoot a dude in the dick, but he didn't.
It was just implied.
Yeah, he was just like, you give me the gun. And then, like I said, then we get into that little Van Cleef situation. And he saves that grenade for later. It falls off Van Cleef. He wraps it up in a shirt and saves it.
For
Van Damme's
some
wearing
bizarre reason.
Yeah, I don't know why. He could have just put it in his pocket, but no. He's wearing his wife beater now, flipping over fire all the time.
This is where
flipping
you
over
see
fire
like
barrels.
7 trampoline flips.
Yeah,
like...
for real. Like honestly, we're not lying. There's pretty much 7. And he says, how does it feel to be hunted? I thought that was pretty cool.
Oh, yeah. Lance Henriksen has a mental breakdown.
Yeah, man. He gets set on fire, too, and he's doing his own stunts right there. That's him on fire.
Yeah.
Takes his coat off, throws it while it's still on fire. I'm like, this guy's such a badass.
Yeah. Love Lance Henriksen. Such a great actor.
Stabs Uncle Brimley in the chest. We think he's dead.
Only he could take him down. Takes
Yancey as a hostage. Van Damme's basically like, leave the girl alone. But, he's not going to do it. He somehow, for whatever reason, throws her off to the side. Van Damme goes running at him.
Yeah, he had her load the gun for him.
Yeah, in a very sexual
really
way.
Weird. He's like, ooh.
Ooh. She drops the last bullet in his chamber. And
then he goes running after it's loaded.
Yeah,
as opposed to
while she's doing it. Yeah.
Because, that made no sense.
Yeah, because honestly, dude's not going to stab her in the neck with an arrow while he's trying to watch this gun get loaded.
Yeah.
Because he knows whatever he's going to die. Even though he's a man who has nothing left to lose, like, still in your, like, human brain, you're not going to be, I got to shove this arrow in her throat. You're thinking, no, I don't want that bullet to drop out. That's my last chance. Van Damme makes another great one-liner saying, poor people get bored too, because there was mention like rich people get bored in the beginning of it, or like during that hunting advertising scene.
What investment he had in all of this.
Yeah, that beautiful, powerful kick, man. He does that jumping kick.
Yeah.
Smashes Lance and he goes flying backwards. Dodging a fire again. Holding that fire 2x4, man.
Yeah.
Holding on the fire. Having those flashbacks to all the people that he's killed, that
presumably
have died. Yeah, that Lance has killed.
Not Wilford Brimley, but they flash back to him anyway.
Yep. Drops a grenade. Van Damme drops the grenade in Lance's pants. He somehow is able to fish it out. You think it's going to be okay. He defuses it, but he keeps it way too close.
It sparks.
And he
goes like, or something like that right before he dies.
Oh, no.
Like he literally takes like 5 seconds to unscrew it when he could have thrown
it. Yep. Nope. We get the great line, hunting season is over. And guess what? We find out the uncle is okay.
Yep, he's okay.
He got his flask stabbed instead. It was his flask that saved him. He's like, oh no, this is a tragedy. And CCR starts playing.
Yeah.
And they just walk out
on the bayou. Classic
on the bayou.
Classic Van Damme ending where he's like, big thumbs up. Okay.
Yeah, we're good. Walking out. And that was the end of it.
Oh my goodness. Yep. This movie.
Yep.
Probably the funniest Van Damme movie.
Oh my gosh, man. This one, yep.
Up until Street Fighter,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So there we.
Because like Double Impact was a hilarious movie.
Oh yeah, it was. Yeah,
but I think this movie beats
this
it just ridiculousness.
Yeah, this movie beats it on the ridiculousness. We might have to have you end up pulling your phone out on some stuff. My battery's about to die. All right, here we go. We got a long list of trivia on this, man. Universal was afraid that John Woo's limited English would be a problem on set, so they hired Sam Raimi to oversee the entire shoot and replace Woo if need be.
That makes so much sense.
So that's why Ted Raimi showed up.
All the ridiculousness in this movie.
Yep. It had some Sam Raimi influence on it. Arnold Vosloo said working with John Woo was like an actor's dream come true.
Oh, that's cool.
After the domestic and international box office success of the film, Universal Pictures production company Alphaville, producers Jim Jacks and Sean Daniels, stars Jean-Claude Van Damme, and director John Woo briefly considered reteaming for another action thriller to be titled Shadow of Death. However, due to the difficult relationship between Van Damme and Woo, the project never materialized.
That also makes a lot of sense.
Yep. John Woo's original cut of film ran nearly 2 hours and focused more on Fushone. Jean-Claude Van Damme and his editor locked themselves in an editing room for 2 days and re-edited the film for the producers. Van Damme stated that moviegoers were paying to see a Van Damme movie, not a Lance Henriksen movie.
Oh! I'd like to see that
that original cut. There we go. Van Damme once again getting into the editor's room. How they're able to just give Van Damme editing rights blows my mind.
Yeah, that's
I understand in Bloodsport and Cyborg kinda.
Yeah, but this is John Woo was a really big name. They brought him over to the States.
This is Universal Pictures, man. Oh, okay. Ends up doing that. The strong chemistry between Arnold Vosloo and Lance Henriksen led one Universal executive to quip that he wished he could have gotten the pair of their own film together.
Yeah, man. They're actually really good.
The body count in this is 34, including the snake. During the final battle, Lance Henriksen's coat accidentally caught fire. He never broke character and continued the scene while he pulled off the coat and threw it away.
That was unintentional?
This remained in the final cut. I don't know, man, because
it looks
he has the gel in his hair and stuff, and then later on, his hair's dry.
Huh.
So I think that's bullshit. I think maybe for a bit the coat caught back on fire or whatnot, but no, you could tell that he was wearing that fireproof gel. So I'm calling bullshit on that trivia, even though 16 out of 16 people found that interesting. Kurt Russell was originally sought for the role, but they couldn't wait 2 years to film it with him. The studio then went with Jean-Claude Van Damme, who met with John Woo when he was filming Double Impact in Hong Kong.
Oh, wow. That would have been really interesting watching this with Kurt Russell.
Yeah, man. Van Damme had already been a huge fan of John Woo's films and arranged to meet with him in Hong Kong, where the two got along despite Woo and Van Damme's difficulty with their English. I'm working with Van Damme. Woo stated that he was sure of my own abilities, and I know how to make an actor look good on screen, make him look like a hero. I thought I could do the same for Van Damme. Despite early misgivings of working with Van Damme, Woo changed many action scenes in the film to make them more spectacular on finding that Van Damme was up for it. While working with Van Damme, Woo stated that Van Damme had a pretty big ego, but he's still professional and always tries to do a good job. So that makes sense.
Yeah, that does make sense.
The film originally was to end with a boat chase, but was changed to a horseback chase at the insistence of Van Damme. See also Face Off.
Huh.
Weird. In John Woo's original cut, there was a love scene between Chance and Nat, as well as an extended shootout in the factory towards the end of the film. I really want to see Woo's director's cut now.
Yeah, man.
Lance Henriksen's pistol is a Thompson center contender. It is a single-shot pistol featuring interchangeable barrels of different calibers. The more you know.
That's cool. I want one of those.
Yeah, man. John Woo turned down the script for Face Off to direct this instead, as the science fiction side of that movie didn't interest him.
Science fiction.
The ear-cutting scene was included by director John Woo as a friendly homage to Reservoir Dogs, which included trademark Woo Mexican standoff.
That's cool.
Originally earned an NC-17 rating for violence. It was resubmitted to the MPAA 7 times before it finally earned an R rating.
That might explain the film length too, from 2 hours to...
Yeah, exactly. So, like I said previously, Kurt Russell was considered for the star, but Universal decided they want to be in the Van Damme business. Studio had successfully released his martial arts pick Lionheart in 91, and his picture release between that film and Hard Target had all been strong performers domestically and internationally. Many critics called the picture the most violent film of the summer. One critic said it was only concerned about one thing, violence. Noted film critic Kevin Thomas, who enjoyed the picture, said the film's violence was no more explicit than the previous Falls Under Siege.
That's true. Under Siege was extremely
violent. It was. The crew had to... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
That's funny because like this movie actually like reminds me of like and I forgot. Oh,
Steven Seagal?
Yeah, this movie had a real Steven Seagal film vibe to it.
Man. You're right. The crew had to construct a bulletproof shield to protect the camera, which was nicknamed the Woo Woo Choo Choo. Oh, beautiful. This is Woo's English language directorial debut. In an interview, Lance Henriksen recalled how when he asked John Woo how to approach his character's motivation at the end of the film, Woo told him to think about what someone would be like who enjoyed taking advantage of the weak and vulnerable. Henriksen said that was the only direction he gave him and let Henriksen decide how big or small to play the role. Henriksen had said also that the word no never came out of Woo's mouth.
Huh.
Lance accepted the role of Emile Fauchon, stating he was a great fan of John Woo, noting that his earlier films were so creative, so balletic? Is that how you say that? It's ballet, but like balletic?
Yeah, I guess it's balletic. I've never even heard that.
I've never heard that either. And had this incredible philosophy in them. The violence was only a container for the philosophy. Theatrical trailers show Van Cleef saying, "Look at it this way. You're going to get to meet Elvis," while kneeling over dead body of Roper after his men killed him on the street. This short dialogue scene, man, whoever wrote this was terrible. This short dialogue scene is not in any known version of the movie. Due to this and the fact that movie was heavily recut many times, it's possible there was more deleted footage than even the famous uncut work print versions include. As John Woo had not mastered the English language yet, it took him time for the cast and crew to get used to working with him. When Woo could not explain what he wanted with a shot to cinematographer Russell Carpenter, he would resort to simple statements such as, "This will be the Sam Peckinpah shot," to get his message across to Carpenter. Lance Henriksen recalled that it was a gradual process that led everyone involved to start seeing the film as a John Woo film rather than a Jean-Claude Van Damme film. Producer James Jacks recalled that John Woo was not the most powerful person on the set, but as far as I was concerned, he was certainly the most respected. This movie has many references to John Woo's previous film, Hard Boiled, including half of the title. There's also a reference point from Woo's earlier film, Bullet in the Head, at the end of the film, in which Van Cleef kicks a burning barrel at Chance and he jumps over it.
Oh, wow, yeah. I totally forgot about that.
Production lasted 74 days. However, the film was put on a tight schedule by Universal that allowed only 65 days of shooting time. This put a lot of pressure on John Woo. He was also pressured by Universal to tone down the violence and body count that he had seen in his Hong Kong films. The character Van Cleef is named after actor Lee Van Cleef.
Yes.
He played a sadistic antagonist in The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. That's awesome.
Oh, that's great.
Chuck Farrer had the story take place in New Orleans to give an explanation of Jean-Claude Van Damme's accent. Chance sees Steven's reflection in the motorbike visor. That's a director trademark from John Woo. John Woo was first offered this job in the United States by Universal Pictures chairman Tom Pollock after he had seen Woo's film The Killer.
That's such a good movie, by the way.
I don't think I've seen that.
Oh, it's really good.
Director Andrew Davis was interested in the script, but ultimately turned it down. Russell Carpenter found difficulty in filming the huge gunfight scenes. Carpenter specifically noted that Mardi Gras Parade Warehouse by recollecting that just the lighting for a space like that with all those strange shapes and shadows was difficult enough, but John then added the further complication of wanting the scene shot from several angles at once, often with more than one of the cameras moving. Producer James Jacks supported this style of filming, finding it the most economical way to shoot these types of action scenes. That would be a nightmare as the cinematographer. I couldn't imagine. Sven Ole Thorsson's only line as Steven, "The place is clean, he just left," was dubbed to cover his thick Danish accent. Aww. Chance versus Van Cleef with a wall between them, throwing around a few comments before the showdown. Yep. Director trademark. Another trademark, someone throwing another character a gun. Chuck Farrer wrote the script, originally basing it on The Naked Prey, 1965.
Yeah, big shock there.
After the script did not turn out, Farrer worked on a script influenced by Aliens that became the basis for his comic Virus. The final attempt was a script based on The Most Dangerous Game. Some more director trademarks. Chance uses 2 guns in the final shootout, and Chance sees the thugs to rob Natasha reflected in the door of the cafe. M. Scott Smith performed additional editing on the film. A sequel was released in 2016. I think that's on Netflix right now, but I haven't watched it yet. And last but not least, director trademark, the dove flying into a shot and landing above the dog tags while Chance is standing in his doorway. All right, and you're going to have to do the quotes for me, please.
All right. Do you want to use my phone or you want me to?
No, you do it. This will change it up. You haven't been able to really do any quotes in a while, man.
That's true. All right.
Have at it.
Is this name pronounced Peak or Pick? Van Cleef?
I think Pick. I think even though it should be like Peak, I think they called him Pick.
Randall. You are going to leave without saying goodbye, huh? My mama got sick in Biloxi. I was going to call you, Mr. Van Cleef.
Oh, dude, it was so funny because when he says it, he calls it Biloxia.
Yeah. Biloxi.
So Biloxi, Mississippi. He's like, she got sick in Biloxia.
Of course you were, Randall. Of course you were. I know you didn't mean to hurt my feelings. Randall, I come back here. I cut me a steak.
Oh, yes. Yeah, after he cut off his ear.
Oh, so gross.
So
great
gross.
Scene.
Yep.
If you understand me, just grunt. Yeah. All right, let's see. Oh, God, they have the whole massage parlor. See?
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah, baby. Hello, Paul. What the fuck? You miss me? Oh, Christ, not again. It looks like you're short on ear, so you better listen very carefully. Now, who sent those apes after me? I don't know what you're talking about. 2 million people in this city. Who's gonna miss a fat slob like you? Van Cleef! His name is Van Cleef!
That's a good Poe.
Hey, thanks. Good boy. Where is he? I don't know where he lives. He ain't even American. Look, he'll kill me if I don't do what he says. Please. You tell your boyfriend, Van Cleef, that I'm going to find out who killed Douglas Bender. If you understand me, just grunt. Again. I can't believe we only have one quote from Wilford Brimley in here.
Oh, that's a shame, man.
I don't even know if I could attempt it.
You have to. You got to try it. Let's try our fake, our Wilford Brimley Cajun accent.
Or Wilford Brimley Cajun. That's like 7 layers of accent.
That's 7 layers of accent for real.
Ooh-wee, ha-ha. Sometimes I amaze myself. Good whiskey make Jackrabbit slap the bear. That's it.
All right.
Wait.
I got to try that myself. You got to do your Cajun accent.
Wait, you got to try it? What?
Yeah, I'm gonna try it myself. Let's see.
This movie has a lot of quotes in it.
Yeah, it does. Oh man, I don't even know if I can do this. Ooh-wee, ha ha. Sometimes I amaze myself. Good whiskey make Jackrabbit slap at the bear.
Oh, he's so good.
You got some more right there.
Oh, jeez. Oh, yeah. What's your name? It's Nat. Nat? Mm-hmm. Your parents name you for a bug? You trust me? Of course I trust you. Close your eyes. Why do you want me to trust you with my eyes closed? Well, that was the extent of the scene there.
Yeah,
I guess I couldn't have really quoted a rattlesnake.
She goes in for the kiss.
Yeah.
He grabs the snake.
Now you take your pig stick and your boyfriend and find a bus to catch. Boy, he was really big on attacking men's sexuality.
Yeah, he really was, man, in this film, definitely.
You're not angry at me, are you, Peek? Or Pick? Pick. I think it was Pick, right?
Yeah, Pick.
I don't get angry. I'm a professional.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
I'm a professional. I was trying
his
to
weird
guess his accent.
Yeah,
man, his accent was so weird. Like, one scene, he almost sounds Scottish.
Yeah, I could not place it at all.
No,
I'm guessing Mediterranean.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. Like, I was like trying to just figure what it was.
Huh? The guy in the Hawaiian shirt was named Stefan.
Yeah, that's the dude. Apparently, the Danish dude.
Yeah, his accent was
too thick. Yeah.
Sorry about your shirt.
Yep.
Careless is what you are, Randall. Careless and stupid. And now you're sorry, too. Man, Lance Hendrickson was so good in this movie.
Yeah, he was, man. He really was.
Oh, God. Here, drink. But do not spill, it killed the grass. Every line he had was just solid gold.
Yep, that was a good one.
I don't remember that scene or that line at all.
Oh my gosh. I have no clue. I'll fuck you, then I'll eat you.
Did he shout it while he was having his mental breakdown? Like,
maybe, yeah, you know what? Maybe. That might be one of those where he was going crazy at the end.
Oh my God, Emil, his last line, whoops.
Whoops. Yep, that was it. Whoops.
You are a fucking buffalo.
That made no sense to me at all. I did not understand.
Guess because he was clumsy? I don't know.
I don't know.
There's always some unhappy corner of the globe where we can ply our trade. He was a creepy dude.
He was, dude. He's like, we can go to Eastern Europe and never have to leave.
I'm thinking castles.
Yeah.
Open play. Yeah.
Yeah, man. We were in Rio de Janeiro for Carnival.
Oh, God. Wakey, wakey, you fat fuck.
That just slaps his belly.
Yeah. Gives him a pink
good.
belly.
Yep. Awful waffle.
What kind of name is Chance? Well, my mama took one. Do you still have the 30-06? The one I gave you for your birthday? No, I Gatorade it, but I still got your shotgun.
That was pretty good Brimley, like doing a Cajun accent. That was like so over the top.
I cannot dance, but I can get up.
When he got shot.
Yeah, he got beat.
He got shot in the leg.
He got shot in the leg, stabbed with an arrow,
Yep.
hit in the face. Load me.
That was the creepy one.
When he goes to pull, I don't know why I should grab the shell nearest his penis, but
that was the only one that was left.
Oh, was that the only one? Oh, that's
there was
right.
the only one left, and
she shouldn't have been shooting all those parade
like,
floats.
When she pulled it out, and I was like, oh.
You see, Miss Binder, I can understand. It was a matter of family. You had nothing in common with those people. What made you want to complicate my life like that? Poor people get bored too.
Yep, there it was. Oh, man.
Oh, man. Let's see what else we got.
There's a lot of quotes.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it.
Skimming through a couple of them.
Yeah, some of them, when they do the IMDb stuff, you're just like, why would I read that one?
Yeah. It appears your trophy is ripping us a new orifice.
Oh, that's good.
Let me review the tactical situation for you, gentlemen. Yep. Boudreaux is wounded. He's been pursued and harried across miles of open country. Now he's cornered and outnumbered 20-1. He's an annoying little fucking insect, and I want him stepped on hard. Man, this movie is just so action quotable.
Oh, I know, it really is. Lance just plays this evil dude.
Yeah, he went whole hog.
Yeah, he did.
Boudreaux. I've been looking all over for you. You've been looking in the wrong places. That's good, because I know you wouldn't want to hurt my feelings. He really was he didn't like having his feelings
No,
hurt.
he didn't.
He's a sentimental guy.
He was. Not say goodbye to me. Don't hurt my feelings. I'll cut off a steak.
And the best line of the movie, hey, pigeon.
Yep, that was it. Yep. Beautiful.
What a tour de force.
Awesome. There wasn't really any Van Damme situations that we usually have. No
splits.
For as a weird, you would think there'd be 20 splits in this film.
Yeah.
For as over the top as Hard Target was. This to date is pretty much the most over the top film that Van Damme has done.
The amount of flips alone, the trampoline flips.
You
You could tell Sam Raimi was involved in this.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Yep.
Not just because his talentless brother was in it either.
Yeah, man. It's definitely a lot of weird influences, and no hard target titular line.
That makes sense. The animatronic snake. That's totally Sam Raimi's shtick right there. The goofy animatronic animal.
Yep. Yeah. Let's see. There's, I mean, a guy got shot in the dick, but it wasn't by Van Damme.
Yeah.
I don't know if there was really any other. Oh wait, no, there was the one nut punch in the beginning when he goes to check the burnt down place.
Oh, that's true.
He punched the one dude in the nuts. No headbutts. I don't believe at all.
I don't recall any headbutts.
And really, I mean, I guess no nudity, no Van Damme.
None whatsoever. Not even Van Damme.
There was on the flyer, but like
that's true.
That was just kind of weird though. Black ink flyer, but no by anyone there. And really, like the only person who, well, I mean, it's the start of the film. The deaths that happened with the dad. The dad's what sparked it.
Yeah, there was an immolation, but there's death by immolation. That happens a lot in Van Damme films.
Yeah. So overall, decent fun movie. How many splits would you give it?
I would probably give it 7, maybe 7.5 out of 10.
Oh, dude, we are on the same wavelength, man. I definitely agree. I'm in the same boat. Not my favorite Van Damme flick of all time,
but a very enjoyable.
Very enjoyable. One of those that you can keep going back and watching. Like,
it's very it's hilarious.
Exactly. You can't take yourself serious with this one.
Well, you can tell that they, like especially Lance Hendrickson's last line being "whoops."
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Whoops. Yeah,
I like to think that'll be my last words someday. Whoops.
Oh man, I'm gonna have that written on your gravestone. Here we have it. Your audio, your audible will and testament. Jeff Jefferson's last words must be "whoops."
He would have wanted it this way.
Yeah. Yep. And don't worry, man. We'll cover up your death if you're involved in this hunting homeless people situation.
You. I appreciate that. Also, blank my hard drive.
Okay. Oh, well, that goes without saying.
Yeah, thank you. It's on my Life Alert bracelet.
Yeah, yep. After I look through it. Just a bunch of screenshots of Van Damme's ass from all
splits.
The different movies. Yep.
GIFs of him doing the splits.
And any last words before I do my typical shilling?
Respect your veterans. Don't hunt them for sport.
Yeah, man. Seriously, that's actually probably the best thing to come out of this. Respect your veterans. Please do not hunt them for sport.
Cannot emphasize that enough.
Definitely. All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening. Clicking that download button and hitting subscribe really helps us out. It gets us into other people's ears. You know what else gets us into other people's ears? You actually rating us 5 stars and giving us reviews. That helps us out tremendously. And if we ever want the great, talented Van Damme to hear this, we need your help. So please consider giving it 5 stars. Please give us a good review. Also, if you love what we do and you want to support us in another way, i.e. monetary, please go to patreon.com/podbros. Check out one of our many different levels there and consider donating. If you don't want to do that, but you shop on Amazon, please use our button. I'm saying please a lot in this episode, but please use it. Go to podbros.com, scroll down, click on our link. Doesn't cost you anything, helps us out in the long run. Got to thank all those that have already done this for us. It truly does help us out. All right, that's it. I'm done. Thank you so much. I am John.
And I am Jeff.
And you have been listening to the Hard Target review from the Jean-Claude Van Damme cast. Jeff, that's a funny name. Why would your parents name you that?
It's because they wanted a chef.
We'll work on it.
All right.
We'll take a chance.
Hunting season is over.
Whoop.